The preacher arrived in the village at twilight, his voice carrying promises of salvation and eternal peace. The townsfolk, worn down by disease, hunger, and endless misfortune, gathered around him in desperation. "No, there is a way," he declared, his eyes glowing with an unnatural light. "Evil can be slain forever, suffering eradicated, and prosperity made eternal. I bring you the method, the practice, the cure." The crowd murmured, intrigued yet uneasy. The preacher seemed too perfect, his skin flawless, his smile wide but cold. Still, they were desperate. He invited them to his tent at midnight, where he would reveal the secrets. One by one, the villagers entered, leaving with strange smiles and vacant eyes. "He showed us the way," they whispered. "The suffering is gone." But as the days passed, those who had visited the preacher began to change. Old wounds reopened, but they bled black tar-like ichor. The sick grew pale, their skin tight over their bones. And yet, they all smiled. They claimed they felt no pain, even as their bodies withered. The village elder, who had resisted the preacher's call, grew suspicious. One night, she followed the preacher to his tent. Hidden in the shadows, she watched as he spoke to a new group of hopefuls. "You must give all of yourselves," he said. "Your pain, your fear, your doubts. Surrender them to me, and I will grant you peace." The villagers knelt before him, and the preacher's shadow twisted. It grew tall and monstrous, sprouting claws and horns. It stretched across the tent, enveloping the kneeling villagers. They didn't scream as the shadow consumed them. They simply disappeared, leaving behind only their empty clothes. The elder fled, but she didn't make it far. The preacher appeared before her, his face shifting between human and inhuman forms. "Do you see now?" he asked. I told them the truth. Evil can be slain, suffering can end. But it must be fed to something greater. The elder tried to run, but his shadow overtook her, pulling her into its icy depths. Her screams echoed in the silent village, where the preacher's followers now wandered, soulless husks, eternally smiling. The preacher moved on to the next village, spreading his method with gladness.